Ford and Toyota dealerships serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. And Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Monday, the 15th day of April, 2019. I trust that everyone had an enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are already out there camping and have already picked your spots for the Easter holidays, I trust that you're enjoying yourselves. Don't catch all of the fish that's in the ocean now. Leave some for after Easter as well. And I trust that you have taken your radios with you. I know some people take their TVs camping as well, and that you're listening to For the Record. For those of you who are on our roads, we urge you again, if you're a pedestrian, if you're a cyclist, a motorcyclist, or a bicyclist, if you're operating any type of vehicle on the road, please, we urge you, be extremely cautious. Please observe the rules of the road. Please be courteous on the roads as well, because remember that the life you save may be your own. To add to that this morning, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is notifying the public, traveling public in the area of North Church Street, around Coral Sands. I believe that is pretty near to Dixie Cemetery, that the street is blocked off at Coral Sands due to a serious collision, and traffic is being diverted at Eastern Avenue and Borden. It says Borden Street here, but I believe it is Borden Road, and I stand to be corrected, but I believe it is Borden Road. If someone knows otherwise, please call in to Radio Cayman. Let us know if you're in that area, exactly where traffic is being diverted to. So people who are coming into town and even going towards 7 Mile Beach can expect some serious delays, and you're really urged to avoid the area if you possibly can. Don't go in that area unless you really have to. I noticed this morning on the roads that there was not as much traffic as usual, and that would probably have something to do with some schools being out at this point in time as well. And again, you want to be extra careful on the roads. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Our phone lines are always open, and there is always someone there waiting to take your calls. normally and this morning as well. It is that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at For The Record. That is one word, For The Record, at CANDW.KY. WhatsApp us on 925-3261, where we encourage you to send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We have no guests in the studio yet, but we hope to have them here possibly after the 8 o'clock news. We're going to be talking about Carifta, and we're going to be also talking later on in the show with another group about Earth Day and Plastics Free Cayman as well. So until we have our guests in the studio, we're going to have an open line for you to call in, and that gives you an opportunity to talk about some of the things that you want to discuss. If you do call in, we ask you to kindly respect the time for other people who may want to call in or who are holding on the line as well. And by doing so, we ask you to try to be as succinct as possible, while at the same time wanting and wishing to afford you the opportunity to clearly express your views. We're going to take a break now, and
live from Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Breaking News.
This is Carsley Fuller in the Radio Cayman newsroom. We just have some breaking news. A man has been found unresponsive on North Church Street this morning. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says just before 5:30 a.m., 911 got a call. They sent fire and emergency services to a report of a male cyclist found unresponsive on North Church Street near Coral Sands. Police say the man was found and appeared to have been struck by a vehicle. He was taken to the hospital, where he has been pronounced dead. Police have since closed the road to conduct a full investigation. Traffic is being diverted at Baden Road and Eastern Avenue. Only the Eastern Avenue entrance to Kirk Market is currently open, and police are urging you to avoid the area if possible. It will remain closed throughout the morning during this morning's peak commute period. Again, a man has been found unresponsive on North Church Street, victim of a suspected hit and run. He has been pronounced dead. Make sure to keep it locked right here to Radio Cayman as we follow this developing story. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
good morning and welcome back to For the Record. You heard that bulletin that was just issued by Radio Cayman in relation, giving you an update in relation to that accident. And it appears, unfortunately, that someone has lost their life. Appears as if it may be a hit and run. And I will personally say to that person or persons who may have been involved in that individual who you hit, who you struck down, is someone's child, someone's brother, someone's uncle, maybe someone's father. And you want to give respect to that. Normally, in hit and run situations, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun on this, but normally in hit and run situations, people run simply because they're fearful, they're scared, and not knowing what to do. When you sit and when you think about it, when you recollect your thoughts and your anxieties are gone, do the right thing. If not, you can bet you will be discovered. So it is much easier, it will be much easier for you to turn yourself in, to admit what has been done. The family of that individual needs to know. They will need to have closure as well. So if you're listening, urging you, turn yourself in to the authorities, because that is the right thing to do as a human being. We're going to take a commercial break now, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas. Merle Adina Connolly, 1919-2000. Miss Merle Connolly was the daughter of Eleanora and Benoni Connolly. She was married to Samuel Chesley Connolly and had a family of 4 children. She spent much of her life in church of the Women's Fellowship, Sunday school teacher, elder, and president of the Christian Endeavor Society. Miss Merle enjoyed providing encouragement and advice to young people in East End. Christian Endeavor afforded her the opportunity to introduce young people to the arts. Among other activities, she directed plays and taught craft and sewing. She was certified in craft, especially plating silver thatch to make baskets and other articles. Her work was highly sought after by tourists and residents alike. She also enjoyed cooking and preparing traditional East End foods, such as stewed conch and heavy cakes, to assist with fundraising for the church and community projects. She touched the lives of all those with whom she came in contact with.
Radio Cayman's Historical Facts Vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
Circle of Love Women's Ministry and DCFS would like to thank our gold sponsors for their support of the annual Child Month Breakfast on May 11, 2019. Smoothie King, Wallscape, Burger King, Rotary Sunrise, The Medical Specialists, Koshules, Crichton Properties, Bodden & Bodden Attorneys at Law, and R.C. Bodden. Thank you, gold sponsors, for empowering, impacting, and encouraging the future of the Cayman Islands. For more information on the Child Month Breakfast or to be a sponsor, contact Shanda Hunter at 922-3229.
Get you ready. Set your date.
Saturday, April 27th, the annual Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair at the Camana Bay Arts and Recreation Center, 9 a.m. through noon. Witness over 130 next-generation scientists representing over 12 primary schools, including Cayman Brac, deliver fresh ideas, solutions, and innovation covering life sciences, earth science, physics, chemistry, food and health, and more than meets the eye. 3 hours of science-spiration by the next generation. Major sponsors, Dart Minds Inspired and Green Turtle Express. Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair 2019. Ideas, innovation, inspiration.
It is amazing to see my daughter grow up and make a difference in the world, but it is also completely terrifying to worry about her when she goes out with her friends. It is my job as a father to make sure she makes smart decisions and is safe as a young woman. So, when my daughter needs quality care, I take her to CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of the careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medicine. CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Why my wife always asking if I'm in a rush when she's the one always making us late?
Might as well say, I'm in a rush, and go buy the new Toyota Rush you've been talking about, 'cause they on sale this month. Dial teacher.
The Super Special Spring SUV Sale at Vant Motors. Save up to $4,400 with SUVs starting at only $23,500, like the 7-seater Toyota Rush. Save money, get cash back, or use the discount to upgrade features on the SUV of your choice, including the Toyota RAV4, the Fortuner, the Rush, or the Ford EcoSport. It's our Super Special Spring SUV Sale. Only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
The Cayman Registry, established in 1903, a division of the Maritime Authority of the Cayman Islands, MACI. The Cayman Registry, the #1 super yacht registry in the world, dedicated to ensuring safety of life at sea, marine environment protection, and the provision of industry standards for working and living conditions for seafarers. The Cayman Registry is whitelisted in all major memoranda of understanding on port state control and rated low-risk status on Qual Ship 21 for the United States Coast Guard. The Cayman Ship Registry, established in 1903, now 115 years strong. The Cayman Registry, a division of MACI, the Maritime Authority of the Cayman Islands, the #1 super yacht registry in the world, with over 2,200 vessels registered. The Cayman Registry, sailing on to new heights.
While the primary source of alcohol for underage drinkers is people they know, research shows that 7 to 9% of those who report alcohol use in the Cayman Islands purchase alcohol directly from retailers. Tips Off Premise helps retailers focus on verifying the legal drinking age when selling alcohol. Since the program was introduced here in the Cayman Islands back in 2005, we have trained over 400 persons and partnered with over 10 retailers. Contact us on 949-9000 to have your staff trained today. This message is brought to you by Radio Cayman and the National Drug Council.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have no guests in the studio yet. We have about another 10, 12 minutes before we go to our headline 8 o'clock news. Again, I want to continue on this story that was just reported here on Radio Cayman in relation to a fatal accident on North Church Street in the vicinity of Coral Sands, and the fact that part of North Church Street has been blocked off. Traffic is being diverted to Borden Road and on to Eastern Avenue. This time of the year, with the holidays, we have a Good Friday holiday, we have Easter Monday holiday as well. Many people, cyclists included, are on the roads. People are out there running, jogging as well. Again, we urge you to be extremely careful. If you're in one of those categories, a cyclist, motorcyclist, a pedestrian, or if you're operating a vehicle as well. Let's talk a little bit about the particular situation, as we know it. If it is a hit and run, chances are that there is some damage may have been done to the vehicle. Anyone out there who knows of a vehicle that may have been damaged under certain suspicious conditions, someone seeking to have a vehicle repaired very quickly, if you are alerted to such things, do not assist any individual. Report it to the police. If you assist, I'm no lawyer and I'm no lawman, but I believe that if you assist, then you become complicit in terms of possibly perverting the course of justice or trying to cover up a crime or whatever. It is important that if you know something, say something to the authorities. We hope and trust that there are cameras in that area that will tell us something. If you listen to the debate in the Legislative Assembly and in Finance Committee, you heard many questions being asked about cameras that are positioned on the roads in the Cayman Islands, whether or not there are sufficient numbers, and we know that we do not have sufficient numbers. We do know that cameras are placed in strategic locations, especially intersections, and they're designed in such a way that they can pick up traffic from one point to the other and then pick them up again. So we hope that this situation is resolved as quickly as possible. But again, if you are the individual or if you know the individual who's involved in this, go to the authorities immediately. I think I have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning,
Hello.
caller.
Yeah, good morning, O.C. How are you, my dear?
I'm fine. Good morning, and yourself?
Oh, thankful. O.C., we need, on the streets, we need to be more careful. I'm finding that we have a lot more recklessness driving. I don't see a lot of police officers, like really, on the peak hour traffic times. I even noticed with me doing taxing, when I come to pedestrian crossings, whether the light is on, I have respect that once that person is on that pedestrian crossing, we all notice, no matter where we come from, you need to stop. I've seen them overtake me, even at the airport. One of my ground transportation unit taxi dispatchers witnessed a police officer driving straight across a pedestrian crossing with tourists on the pedestrian crossing. Mm-hmm. So I'm just believing that my whole thing is we need to be more vigilant. We need to be more careful. And if you have somewhere to go and 101 things to do a little bit more better planning and, leave earlier. This is unnecessary. And then one other thing, O.C., what happened to all these cameras that we spent all this money on? I mean, it makes it sound like we would have did this as a favor to make somebody rich because it's not serving us no purpose. So anyway, O.C., I can leave you with that.
Okay.
You have a good day here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, we that caller mentioned the cameras as well. And let's see. Of course, the police will work behind the scenes with this, so they won't tell us a lot. And we appreciate that as well, that the police will work quietly, do their work, while we, the public, are quite eager to hear and quite curious to hear things. We also have to respect the fact that the police will quietly do their work without, and if there's need for public input or public assistance, then the police will alert us to that as well. It is one person has written in and said, I couldn't reach the office this morning. I had to plead to be let through. It is surreal. It is a surreal scene, quite eerie, and horrible to think someone has died here on our roads. Yes, unfortunately, that is the case, and we again, our prayers go out to that individual and the individual's family, and we hope and trust that if it is a hit and run, that individual or individuals who may have been involved in it, that they do have a heart and that they will turn themselves in to the authorities. If not, it is Cayman. We're pretty good in terms of solving crimes in the Cayman Islands. We, again, a little bit more sophisticated in our crime-solving issues, and there are cameras out there, hopefully, that can assist. If not, if not those that are owned by government, there may be even private cameras on private property that may have picked something up as well. But it is really, really sad to hear the news this morning. And the time that it happened, I don't want to conjecture in this, but at that time of the morning, it's either recreational cyclists who are on the road or many cyclists, especially in the 7 Mile Beach area, going to work on their bicycles. Sometimes we even see local residents in that area. They may be cycling to the gas station or somewhere else. So it could be. We don't know the name of the individual yet, and until that is officially released by the police, we will not be releasing it here on Radio Cayman, even if we're told unofficially the name of the individual. It will not be released until the officials have released the name as well. But it is saddening. It is a terrible way to start the Easter holidays. And again, I urge you, this holiday season, these days that people will have off work, that people will be at the beach enjoying themselves, put a limit on the festivities, especially when it comes to consuming alcoholic beverages as well. You don't want to be out there driving while you're drinking. You don't want to be out there boating while you're drinking as well. Again, remember, the life that you save may simply be your own. And again, if you have caused the loss of life, do not run away from it. You need to face up to it. Yes, when it originally happened, if you were sober, you know about it, a little bit nervous, a little bit scared. When you collect your senses and your thoughts, do the right thing. Please, we urge you, do the right thing. That individual is someone's brother, someone's sister, someone's parent, someone's child. And just think of it. If it were to happen to someone in your family, what you would want. Please, we urge you, do the right thing. Get in contact with the authorities. And for those of you out there who may know about it, remember, if you try to shield them, if you try to hide them, if you try to assist them, you may also be committing a crime as well. We're going to take a break now for our 8 o'clock news. When we return, hopefully, we will have guests in the studio. If not, we're going to continue to have open mic, and we have lots to talk about as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Price Right is 7:59.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
Access information. Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Police are investigating Cayman's second fatal car crash of the year. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says shortly before 5:30 this morning, officers were sent to a report of a cyclist who had been found unresponsive on North Church Street near Coral Sands. Once on the scene, officers determined that it appeared the man had been struck by a vehicle, a suspected hit and run. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police have closed the road to conduct a full investigation, and traffic is being diverted at Bauden Road and Eastern Avenue. Only the Eastern Avenue entrance to Kirk Market is currently open. The road is expected to remain closed throughout the morning as officers try to uncover what happened. This is Cayman's second fatal crash of the year. On March 22nd, Mitchell Ryan was killed in a hit-and-run in Cayman Brac. In other news, government is fast-tracking its east-west arterial extension. Delivering the strategic policy statement in Legislative Assembly on Friday, Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin said his government would push forward road improvements and spending originally planned for later years to deliver improvements Cayman needs in the next coming 2-year period.
In particular, this means that plans for the extension of the east-west arterial will be accelerated by more than 2 years, and we will take the route first through to northward and then on to Bauden Town.
Mr. McLaughlin told lawmakers the cost of the work is likely to be about $18 million, which will be brought forward from future years to the coming budget period. He committed to also reprioritizing the rest of the highways programs to include projects around Grand Harbor and westward into Georgetown to ensure, quote, traffic can move more smoothly. In regional news, U.S. President Donald Trump recently met with 5 Caribbean heads of state at his Mar-a-Lago resort in South Florida to discuss how the U.S. can help the region. U.S. officials followed that by meeting with ministers from almost 20 Caribbean countries in Doral. Trump last month wanted to thank Caribbean leaders for backing his campaign to put pressure on Venezuela's authoritarian regime. They, in turn, wanted to know how the U.S. can help them make up for the cheap Venezuelan oil they're losing, as well as help them build more hurricane-resilient islands. Ministers from 18 Caribbean countries met at the U.S. Southern Command in Doral last Friday with Deputy Secretary of State John Sullivan to address at least the latter concern. The meeting took place, however, amid growing concern in Washington that China is significantly challenging U.S. influence in the region. Beijing's Global Belt and Road Project is also aiding Caribbean countries with infrastructure improvement. That includes a recent $600 million loan to the Dominican Republic to strengthen its power grid. But Sullivan insisted that's not the U.S.'s motivation. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, who will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. German prosecutors have charged the former boss of Volkswagen, Martin Winterkorn, with fraud over the diesel emissions scandal. 4 other executives have also been charged. Mr. Winterkorn has been accused of breaching his role as a guarantor to the authorities, even after he knew about the illegal manipulation of diesel engines. Protesters in Sudan have prevented soldiers from breaking up a sit-in outside army headquarters in Khartoum. The protesters reject the military council that's currently leading Sudan, saying it should be replaced by civilians. At least 7 soldiers are reported to have been killed in an attack by the Islamist group Boko Haram in Chad. The military says 63 jihadists were killed, but there's been no independent confirmation. The European Commission has been given the go-ahead to seek a deal with the United States eliminating tariffs on industrial goods. The US also wants talks on liberalising trade in agricultural goods, something the EU has not agreed to. A group of Dutch poultry farmers are taking the government to court over a contaminated egg scandal 2 years ago. The discovery that eggs were contaminated with an insecticide meant egg stocks had to be destroyed and millions of chickens killed. The farmers accused the Food Safety Board of negligence. The European Union has adopted copyright reforms which it says are urgently needed to cope with digital publishing. The measures receive strong backing from authors, artists and the media industry who want to secure revenue. But they were opposed by internet freedom activists and tech companies, including Google, which sees a threat to advertising income. BBC News.
Access. Information. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
This Easter weekend, the Cayman Islands will welcome the rest of the Caribbean, and you do not want to miss it. Carifta 2019 takes place at the Truman Bodden Sports Complex from April 20th to 22nd. Watch the region's most talented track and field athletes compete and come cheer on your Cayman athletes. Get ready to raise your flags at the Caribbean's biggest athletic event this Easter weekend. It's Carifta 2019. Tickets start as low as $10.
Get your tickets now at CaymanCarifta2019.ky or Funky Tanks and Reflections. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands Government, CUC, Salt Technology Group, the Cayman Islands Athletic Association, Cayman Islands Olympic Committee, Darts, Miracle Brokers, Maples Group, Pinnacle Media, World Gym, and Radio Cayman.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you.
This week at Kirk Home Center, save on the bulldozer broom, perfect for sweeping up concrete, asphalt, and wood surfaces for $12.39. Fill your home with fragrance with Woodwick's warmer system for $12.49. Give walls a fresh look with Red Seal flat white paint for $28.39, and make precision cuts with a chop saw for $122.39.
Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
Good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate light winds and seas expected over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as the pressure gradient over the northwest Caribbean weakens. An increase in chance of showers is expected today as an inverted trough over the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Radar images show isolated showers around the Cayman area moving towards the northwest. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers mainly over Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s and winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots over Grand Cayman and northeast over the sister islands. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures falling to the low 70s tonight. Your winds will be north to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at 1:13. A high tide again tonight at 11 minutes past 7. The sun will set this evening at 6:42 and will rise tomorrow morning at 8 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday morning as the inverted trough lingers over eastern Cuba. Good morning once again. Let's take a look what's happening on our roads. North Church Street is closed due to a fatal collision involving a cyclist which occurred earlier this morning. Traffic is being diverted onto Bodden Road and Eastern Avenue, and only the Eastern Avenue entrance to Kirk Market is open. The road will remain closed throughout the morning peak commute period, and you've been asked to use Bodden Road and Eastern Avenue. Looking at other roads, traffic steady but flowing on Linford Pearson Highway. Traffic also steady on Shamrock Road. Coming from the Westway 4-way stop, light to moderate traffic flow and traffic flowing moderately on Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way. On Edward Street in front of the Georgetown Post Office, traffic is moderate, as well as on the Westway Road in both directions, especially in front of the Ritz. And a little steady traffic coming from the Butterfield roundabout heading towards the Industrial Park area. On Cool Road, traffic is steady but flowing. Some sections a little busy. If you've seen accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman at 949-6990. Have a good morning and buckle up.
you know that the Department of Environmental Health operates a recycling program in the Cayman Islands? Recyclables such as number 1 and 2 plastics, tin and aluminum cans, cardboard, as well as glass and ceramic items are recycled on Grand Cayman by the DEH. Take these items to the recycling depots located at all Foster supermarkets, Kirk Market, and Hurley's Grand Harbor. Remember, keep the Cayman Islands clean, reduce, reuse, and recycle. For more information about recycling, please visit DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
Becoming a member of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association is quick and easy, and the benefits are immense. Simply complete the enrollment form, www.cicsa.ky, and return it to any member of the Management Council or the Secretary, Ms. Zita May Bodden, at the Registrar's office on the first floor of the Government Administration Building. It's only $5 a month, which is automatically deducted from your salary, and voila, it's that easy. The Cayman Islands Civil Service Association membership is open to all civil servants, statutory authority employees, government company employees, and all retired civil servants.
For more information on becoming a member or the benefits of the Civil Service Association, please visit www.cisca.ky. That's CICSA.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. You've heard earlier that there may be traffic delays on our roads, in particular in the North Church Street area, as a result of what appears to be a fatal hit-and-run accident in that area. And I will try to remain on the topic of traffic congestion, the state of our roads in the Cayman Islands as well. And I will begin by looking at an article written by, in the Cayman Compass, Kayla Young, in relation to Mr. Austin Harris's debate in our Legislative Assembly, and it is entitled Harris, Cayman has more cars than people. And it starts out by saying that residents in Grand Cayman can expect much longer traffic delays and even greater road congestion if government does not act quickly. And that warning was issued by MLA Mr. Austin Harris when he spoke on Thursday in the Legislative Assembly. He's quoted as saying, "If our population demographics continue to grow, we will see the level of traffic congestion increased by upwards of 200% over the next 5 years unless we are prepared to take a long, hard look at what we can live with and what we can live without." He's quoted as saying. There's a joint private members motion combining similar proposals submitted by Prospect MLA, Mr. Harris, and East End legislator, Mr. Arden McLean, that sought to restrict vehicle imports to the islands and compel government to explore solutions to the issue. Much of the congestion woes are down to Cayman's growing number of vehicles, Mr. Harris is quoted as saying. He estimates that there are more vehicles than people in the Cayman Islands. There's now 1.2 vehicle for every resident in the Cayman Islands. He cites statistics that he gathered from the various government departments and shared them with the Finance Committee. He pointed out that there were currently 42,459 registered roadworthy vehicles and 37,406 unlicensed vehicles in the Cayman Islands, meaning that there are nearly 80,000 vehicles in the Cayman Islands. Now, what I'll say a little bit, and I'm just breaking with the script here for a minute, I'll say that those 37,406 unlicensed vehicles, some may be off-road, and people simply may not have turned the plates in, but there are many unlicensed vehicles on the road as well. Not only unlicensed, but uninsured vehicles as well. A lot of them being driven deliberately. In some cases, people just simply forget, even though the sticker is on there, forget about the renewal of their vehicle license. But if you have a good insurance provider and they have a way of contacting you, your insurance provider will normally contact you and say your insurance is due to expire at a particular date, and reminding you of the need to renew it. Of course, they're doing it because they're also looking for business and hoping that you will renew with them. But be that as it may, the mere fact that someone is contacting you to remind you that your insurance is up is noteworthy in itself. But we have a lot of unregistered vehicles on the road, uninsured vehicles on the road as well. So the total number of registered roadworthy vehicles and the number of unlicensed vehicles totals around about 80,000 vehicles for the Cayman Islands, and we have an estimated population of around 63, 64 they say. I have my doubts about that, but we'll talk about that come census time as well. It says an increasing flow of vehicle imports has not only overwhelmed the roads, but overwhelmed the local services, such as the Department of Vehicle and Driver's License, Mr. Harris pointed out as well. And some of the statistics from January 2017 to August 2018, he pointed out that Department of Vehicle and Driver's License processed 109,773 vehicle-related transactions. That could be a myriad of several things. Yeah. And he also encouraged greater reliance on electric resources to expedite the DVDL processing as well, because we know that that can be slow at times, but we know that the people at DVDL are also doing their utmost to put in systems, introduce new systems to speed up the process as well. But it goes to show you how very quickly we're becoming overwhelmed and inundated by vehicles on the roads of the Cayman Islands as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, Yossi.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just so sad to hear about another hit-and-run accident again.
Yes, we are.
It just chokes my heart up every time I hear it. I'm one of the few survivors of a hit-and-run accident.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just appealing to whoever's involved in it to please show themselves. Please, just give the family some closure to the situation. It is just so sad to hear. That person has a soul, had a heart, was a living person, just like you, whoever you are. So please have a heart. Please have some compassion.
Yes, caller. And I know I've spoken to you personally, and we know what you experienced in this area as well, and we know that you're speaking from your heart in relation to it, and we join you in calling on the person to turn themselves in, or if someone knows about this particular accident, to go to the authorities. Do not assist anyone in covering this situation up.
It is just so heartless. I mean, what is this world coming to? God wants us to love each other, and
Yes. Are you still with me, caller?
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just so heart-wrenching to hear stuff like this. I don't even know who the persons are, but just to have survived it myself, I just feel so special. I just feel like God has saved me for some special reason.
Yes. And we thank you, and we want you to continue to advocate for road safety and, safer driving and on the roads as well. We want to commend you for what you do in that regard.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. We know that caller is speaking from the heart because she has been through it. She has lived through it. We have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Wesley. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Wesley, this subject matter this morning is very important to me because I've said, and I don't want to say things because I want to try to impress people that I'm smart, right? No thing more than anybody else. But when I came back home in 1986, I saw a need for different things in Cayman. Okay. One of the things that I had made a proposal to the then government was that they should start, or not start, to design and build one of the monorail things. Because Cayman is too small to have the number of cars. Even back then, we thought we had too many cars. I mean, back in '86. But we never knew. That's when they cut right after that that I came home. They built the Lincoln Pearson extension and all that kind of thing. And they later on we did the accelerated thing. What I'm saying was, see, that it seems to me that, and I'm going to say this not to be nasty about anything, but we have a tendency to elevate or to promote people in positions where they have reached their level of incompetence or their level of where they can't handle things. Now, let me give you an example I'm talking about. I don't know whose idea it was to change the license tags. Now, that was the big, you remember that? There was a big something when they started talking about changing the license tags, and they got, I don't know if they even got half of them done. And then they had to stop it. I don't know whether they ran out of money or what it is. But then we got license tags for buses. We got license tags for trucks. We got license tags for this, license tag for that. And you got about at least 5 or 6, 7 different kinds of tags. I see a car the other day on the road with a blue Centennial tag on the back and a yellow tag in the front.
Wow.
Different numbers, you know.
Something's wrong there, yeah.
Something's wrong there, O.C. We have to stop. You see, we become complacent as long as it's not affecting me. You know, I don't have anything to say. I just see it, and then, you know, and what I'm saying is, if we had built a really good monorail, but by this time it would have been finished from West Bay to East End. And people that I see running in the bus, I pick up people all the time coming from, if I go East End on a Sunday, or I go up there anytime, I coming back down, I see people that have to go to work on the side of the road waiting for buses. And I'll pick them up and I'll have a conversation with these people. And they talk about how on Sundays sometimes the buses don't run and they have to get to work and they're worried about losing their job because they can't get there in time. Now, we'll see, I saw it last night. I'm driving up, coming down from, I went out to pick up the newspaper, and I'm coming back down, and I see a bus. I don't know what number it was, but it was a bus with it had the green letters on it. That's all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And when he crossed me, I couldn't believe it. And what I did was, when he crossed me, I speeded up to see just how fast he was going. That guy was doing almost 70 miles an hour. A bus, you know, one of them little buses. And I'm hoping that nobody was in there, because if that thing had crashed, everybody was dead. These things go on day after day, even in the middle of the day, and you coming down Athletic Highway, and you don't see no cops on the road. They used to stop down there when you get, before you turn to the bottom of the new, it would stop there and try to catch people speeding and stuff. But what I'm saying is the police got things better to do than how to do that. What we have to do is to make an effort to find all the derelict cars that are on the road, and for about a month or so, they stop every car they see going in, they check their license. They don't have to be speeding, just check them to make sure that their stickers are in place, this kind of thing. And then if you're driving an illegal vehicle, you're going to be, first of all, the illegal vehicle can be confiscated, and you're going to go to court and you're going to get a big fine. You got to do something with it, OC, because I see and then I'll leave you here. I'm coming down across by where Big Daddy's Liquor is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Along that road there. And that's a busy road, even after that's still busy. And I noticed that along the eastern side of the thing, where you got some small palm trees and coconut trees and stuff like that planted along the side of the road, you should see the soot. Now, that comes from the exhaust of the car, that those trees, the leaves are black. The leaves are black from the exhaust that we have. And we don't, because we don't see it, we're not like a city or anything where the pollution kind of sits in the middle of the building and stuff like that. But we get a lot of pollution, and people are breathing that stuff. We must do something about this kind of thing, because we're destroying the whole the island, and people come here as tourists. They want to see. They loved Cayman back in the 1970s, in the early 80s. Well, see, my friend, you have a good day. God bless.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller, for that. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My dad is the best. He was always there to protect me and guide me to be a better person. He helped shape me into the woman that I am today. But I was never prepared for the day that I had to protect and take care of him. It was terrifying and a total role reversal. But I will always be there for him like he was for me. When it comes to his medical care, I go where he always did, West Bay Pharmacy.
We know the difficulty of caring for elder family members. At West Bay Pharmacy, we can help assist you with caring for your loved ones by providing quality medicine and some of the most efficient home healthcare items possible. We provide precise calculations with your prescriptions to ensure your medical safety. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Why my wife always asking if I'm in a rush when she's the one always making us late?
Might as well say, yeah, I'm in a rush, and go buy the new Toyota Rush you've been talking about, because they on sale this month. That'll teach her.
The super special spring SUV sale at Vant Motors. Save up to $4,400 with SUVs starting at only $23,500, like the 7-seater Toyota Rush. Save money, get cash back, or use the discount to upgrade features on the SUV of your choice, including the Toyota RAV4, the Fortuner, the Rush, or the Ford EcoSport. It's our super special spring SUV sale. Only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio. Sad news in relation to a fatal traffic accident on North Church Street this morning at 7:40 a.m. We have a release from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, and it's reads, man found unresponsive on North Church Street this morning, 15th of April. It says just before 5:30 a.m., the 911 communications center dispatched fire and emergency services to report that a male cyclist found unresponsive on North Church Street in the vicinity of Coral Sands. The man was located and appeared to have been struck by a vehicle. He was taken to hospital where he has been pronounced dead. Police have closed the road to conduct a full investigation. Traffic is being diverted at Borden Road and Eastern Avenue. Only the Eastern Avenue entrance to Kirk Market is currently open. The road is expected to remain closed throughout the morning peak commute period. Again, that's coming from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. That was issued at 7:40 this morning. Going back to MLA and Councillor Mr. Austin Harris's debate in our Legislative Assembly, and he talked about the number of transactions handled at DVDL over a year, probably a year and 3/4, January 2017 to August 2018, and the processing of that, and points out that also that another facility that has struggled to keep up with the issue of vehicles is the Georgetown landfill, and he's quoted as saying that whilst we are importing vehicles at an average rate of about 398 vehicles per month, we are only disposing of an average of 30 vehicles per month into the Georgetown landfill. I'm going to pause there for a second and say disposal goes on otherwise, but it goes on illegally because people just simply leave their vehicles on the side of the road when they become inoperable, when they cannibalize one vehicle to get parts for another one. They simply leave the cannibalized one on the roadside as well. So while the landfill is probably disposing of an average of 30 vehicles per month, we're probably seeing equal numbers being disposed illegally as well in the Cayman Islands. He also goes on to say the remainder, I believe, can be found on the roadside. So he's pointed it as well. I didn't even look at the next paragraph before I said what I said. Can be found on roadsides of our once beautiful communities, gathering like dust in the form of derelict vehicles, which are not only unsightly but represent a significant health risk both in terms of vermin as well as potential breeding grounds for mosquitoes during the rainy season. He also pointed out that vehicle imports increased more than 60% in 4 years. And he pointed out also that in 2018, 4,783 vehicles were imported to the islands compared to 2,946 vehicles in 2014. So in 4 years, we almost doubled the number of vehicles imported. He suggested a number of non-infrastructural ideas that could be explored in the short term, including incentives for carpooling, staggered work hours, optimized traffic light management, and stricter enforcement of existing road laws. I would say that the latter, stricter enforcement of existing road laws, is one that would be wholeheartedly endorsed and supported by the public. Stricter enforcement of existing road laws. And that stricter enforcement can be done without having to increase the number of individuals that you have enforcing the traffic laws. We have those cameras. Use the speed cameras. I know that some governments are reluctant and hesitate about making money through fines for improper use of the roads, but we need to do it. Those persons who engage in that activity need to pay for that. You're not entrapping anyone. You have set the speed limits on the roads. You have set the rules of the road out there. If people choose to ignore those, then they should pay. You're not entrapping anyone. You're not making them guilty of something. They're entrapping themselves by breaking the law. So do not hesitate to do that. And then Mr. Harris also proposed import restrictions such as by age and fuel type be explored by a government committee and implemented by 2020. And I believe that this motion was accepted in the form that we will have a bipartisan committee of the House to look into this issue. Now, these are my words. There is still, I get the sense that there is this reluctance to restrict the number of vehicles on the roads. This talks about restriction such as by age and fuel type. But what about the number of vehicles? What about who can import them? Again, I ask the question, someone coming here to the Cayman Islands on a work permit that is not guaranteed from 1 year to the next whether or not that work permit is going to be renewed, should they be allowed to import a vehicle into the Cayman Islands? My answer to that rhetorical question is no. No, no, they should not be allowed to be able to import cars into the Cayman Islands. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, OC. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yes, this is one of my pet peeves.
Yes.
But anyway, quickly, I just want to talk about, you're talking about enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I won't find where the policemen are at night. Because, it's not one night that you don't go on the road that you'll see countless vehicles with one light, half a light, multicolored lights, I give an example. I start counting now. The last time I was out in the night was last Saturday night. I drove from Bordentown to Shetties, right? And for that little journey, I come across 5 cars. 5 cars with one headlight, and one of them had no back lights. So where are the cops are in the night? I mean, this is almost every time I go in the street in the night, and this is just one area, And I'm wondering, I heard a caller before talk about the license plates, the tags.
Yes.
I'm seeing so many cars with no license plates or license plates that you can't even read. They have this plastic over them that is got all oxidized or whatever that you can't see, So, where are the policemen? I mean, if people can get away with these things, they will. They won't make an effort to do any change. But if they know they go on the road and chances are they will be pulled down for it, then maybe they might, do a little better. But it's too much lackadaisicalness going on, man. And like I said, I don't expect the cops to be everywhere, but I'm sure they're somewhere. And I'm sure just like how I see cars, with these things, they must see them too. Why are they not doing something about it?
Yes.
And I'll just leave it there.
And caller, just before you go, if you're going to really want to detect a vehicle with only one headlight operational, you're not going to do that during the course of the day. You have to be out there in the night to pick up things like that, right? If you're enforcing.
Maybe that's what causes some of these accidents, because if somebody driving with one light, how are they going to be able to see pedestrians or cyclists on the side of the road sometimes it's difficult to see with your both headlights. And sometimes, you see an oncoming thing with one headlight coming. You're not sure whether it's a motorcycle or a car, Anyway, like I said, it's so much other things to talk about. We don't have the time. But since the topic came up this morning, I just thought I'd mention those.
And I want to thank you very much for that, caller, as well. Thank you. Let's go to the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning to you.
The last caller, he's absolutely right. But, every time we speak about not seeing police on the road, they hire more, and they hire more, and they hire more, and then they get more and more cars. If a car door of a police car can't lock well, they buy a new one. It's our representatives and whoever's in charge of the police section is wrong in doing these kind of things. We need stricter laws. I live on the Turtle Farm Road, and OC, I am telling you the God in heaven truth, on a ship day, big buses loaded with people talking on a mic. They don't have no extra people explaining anything. Flying. I don't want to mention the tour buses that is doing this stuff, but government can make a lot of money. But when this gonna stop? When a serious accident happen and kill some people or kill everyone. I pray to God that don't happen, but something got to be done. Stop talking about their life is in danger. What about the paramedics? When you call on them, they're there. They don't make excuses. There's only one of us in the police station, but 6 cars is parked outside.
Yep.
It goes on and on. Our problems go on, and they're not getting solved. I don't know what our representatives is thinking about, but they better do something before serious things happen to people, and we should have done that, and we should have done that. And don't get in that house and talk about what they should have been doing or what they have done, but never checks to see if the people that's supposed to be doing these jobs are doing them. I tell you, it's getting ridiculous in this little small island.
Yes.
People are getting fed up. Thank you, OC, for listening, and thank you for taking my call. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much as well. We still have a little bit of time before we go to our next commercial break, or you want to take it now, Ms. Susan? We'll take a commercial break now, folks. When we return, I spoke about the import of vehicles and restricting people on work permits. In that article, again, when I scroll down further, I see here where Mr. Harris called the suggestion of prohibiting work permit holders from owning cars as being draconian. And I will discuss that, and I will tell you why he believes that it is draconian and what we need to do before we even consider that. But I totally disagree with that comment that it would be draconian to restrict permit holders from importing cars, not owning them, but importing them into the Cayman Islands. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Why my wife always asking if I'm in a rush when she's the one always making us late?
Might as well say, yeah, I'm in a rush and go buy the new Toyota Rush you've been talking about, because they on sale this month. I'll teach her.
The super special spring SUV sale at Vant Motors. Save up to $4,400 with SUVs starting at only $23,500, like the 7-seater Toyota Rush. Save money, get cash back, or use the discount to upgrade features on the SUV of your choice, including the Toyota RAV4, the Fortuner, the Rush, or the Ford EcoSport. It's our super special spring SUV sale. Only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Get you ready. Set your date.
Saturday, April 27th, the annual Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair at the Camana Bay Arts and Recreation Center, 9 a.m. through noon. Witness over 130 next-generation scientists representing over 12 primary schools, including Kim and Bragg, deliver fresh ideas, solutions, and innovation covering life sciences, earth science, physics, chemistry, food and health, and more than meets the eye. 3 hours of science-spiration by the next generation. Major sponsors, Dart Minds Inspired and Green Turtle Express. Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair 2019. Ideas, innovation, inspiration.
This Easter Saturday, hop down to Bayshore Mall for Kirk Freeport's Easter at Bayshore Family Event. Join us on Saturday, April 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. for refreshments, cotton candy, popcorn, balloons, face painting, steel drums, and more. There will even be supersized Easter bunnies and a kids scavenger hunt with chocolate prizes. Kirk Freeport's Easter at Bayshore Family Event, April 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Bayshore Mall in Georgetown. Free parking behind the mall. Visit KirkFreeport.com for more information.
Hi, this is Bob Kingsley, and this weekend on the Countdown,
we're proudly sponsored by Merengue Town. Liven up your weekends and let loose with grooves of Merengue Town. It's time to feel the rhythm, time to feel the vibes. It's time for Merengue Town.
And, of course, the rest of the 40 hottest hit makers on radio this weekend on the Country Top 40.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller, but before I go to the caller, I just want to, again, quoting from the Caymanian Compass and MLA and Councillor Mr. Austin Harris's debate in the Legislative Assembly, paragraph says he called the suggestion of prohibiting work permit holders from owning cars draconian. And he's quoted as saying, in order to make this arrangement work, you must first have a dependable public transport system. And despite our best efforts to date, we cannot see that we have achieved this. Certainly not in mass transit anyway, he said, adding that improvements to the system are in the works. So what he feels as being draconian is the fact that don't allow work permit holders to own cars. My argument, and it would appear as if maybe the bipartisan select committee of the House will look into who are allowed to import cars into the Cayman Islands. But if you say you a work permit holder, you can own a car, but you're not allowed to import a car into the Cayman Islands, will that present a problem? Hopefully not. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Was up late last night, traveled to Miami, and Cayman Airways, unfortunately, was delayed, but I must say that I didn't hear anyone complaining about the delay. We took it all in stride because that is our national airline, and we have to understand that. And they treated us royally. They kept you informed that the flight was delayed in advance so that you knew about it. So, took it all in stride. Got home at about 2 o'clock this morning.
They always treat us good.
Yes, they do.
I can just make a little joke though. CAL. Cayman always late. But I wouldn't change it for the world.
Cayman always loved too.
Yep. What I call in about, I mean, I've heard about the accident and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the motorcycles, I mean, something has to be done. Because, well, see, they don't have no regards for law, period.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the illegal ones or the legal ones. Yesterday I was heading into town around, I think it was around 6. And believe you me, and these were legal bikes coming from east. And let me tell you, they were, I mean, just flying low, as they would say, in and out of traffic, on corners. They didn't care where the car was coming,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And on Friday, in the traffic, midday traffic, I was on not Eastern Avenue, the Compass, light go or straight going to A.L. Thompson, and there were 3 or 4 illegal bikes in traffic doing their stunts.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me that police cannot do something with this. They know that these people are riding these bikes illegally.
Uh-huh.
They have no insurance. They have no roadworthy certificate. They have nothing. And you're going to tell me that police can't stop them?
Well, I think last week I saw a recent, there was an article in the newspaper about someone actually being convicted for that.
That was when they did the stop 2 years ago up by Midland Acres.
Okay. But what do you see as the police being able to do with it? Because we know, for instance, that those illegal riders, they can maneuver, they can go into side streets, and we know the reluctance from a legal standpoint on the police's part in terms of hot pursuit of vehicles, especially these motorcycles. What do you see the police being able to do to address the issue when they see them out there?
Oh, see, they have a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
The helicopter can follow them wherever they go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure the helicopter is much faster than the bike.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go to their house, send the cop car there.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in the States. I don't see why they can't do it here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think they've done it here on a few occasions as well.
I know they've done it here because one of my little cousins actually got himself in big problems because of it, and he lost his life. That's the one that got an accident up there by Prospect, there by the roundabout, where they said that police had actually hit his bike or something, or made him run into the police car or something. Yeah. They followed him all over West Bay and everything else because they thought he had did a robbery.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I know it can be done.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway.
Okay, caller.
Like what that lady caller said, something not going to be done until something bad happens.
So true. So true. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Just wanted to point out, if you get an opportunity, do read the article in the Caymanian Compass, because there's also part on that article where the minister, infrastructure minister, Minister Hugh, spoke about encouraging complete streets, where you have make road an initiative to make roadways safer and more accessible to different types of traffic, pedestrian traffic, bicyclists, motorcyclists, whatever. Don't have time to read that part of the article, but I would encourage you to read it, see what the government has in mind as well in that regard. Any more calls, Ms. Susan? We have one caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Osteen. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm fine, and yourself?
Oh, thank God for a new day. Well, see, I think we got a lot of problems on the road. Number one, we got some drivers out there. The people can't drive. Definitely they can't drive. I don't know who gave them the license or what they're doing. But why, my opinion, OC, is this. With the importance of the cars, what I think they should do is the car dealers that we have here, let them go through them to import their car. Let the car dealers then have a certain amount, how much they can import for the year, whether 25, 50 or what. But on the roads, definitely, we need to re-examine these drivers with IC driving. If a man hit my car, don't have no insurance, he don't have nothing, what do you expect me now to do?
Yep.
He shouldn't be on the road. So I would agree with what you all say about the police. They need to be stopping every vehicle and examine our documents and see whether we're legal or not. We don't have a problem with that. We're paying them to do that. Then you have these people towing these carts and things behind them. They don't have no license plate on them. They don't have no flasher. They don't have nothing in the back of these vehicles.
Yep. And you as a driver who's obeying the law and have your vehicle license and inspected and everything, you wouldn't feel in any way in terms of being delayed or being inconvenienced as a result of police establishing roadblocks to detect those unlicensed, unregistered vehicles? You wouldn't have any adverse feeling to that?
I don't have a problem with that. We need to get our problem straight. There's no sense in me killing a man with my car, no insurance, no license, no nothing. Come on, then I run. Because if you're not legal and anything happened, as I've been seeing happening, they run and leave the scene.
Yes.
So I don't care whether we got the lay half or whatever. We're dealing with the protection of the human being life.
Thank you very much, caller. I appreciate that. Very good suggestion. And I'm sure that the authorities are listening. They're pretty busy this morning with this situation, but I'm sure that they're listening as well, because I know that if they know that the support is out there for more enforcement, more vigorous and rigorous roadblocks, then that should be done. I notice in Bermuda, and I keep talking about Bermuda, but they have a policy over there that they will actually announce when roadblocks are being set up for to catch drink drivers. This way, people know that they should be off the roads. So that may be, a good ploy as well. Before I go to our headline news at 9 o'clock, very quickly, let me read this. Good morning, Mr. Connor. On the subject of derelict vehicles on the roadside and in the bushes, my thoughts are there is someone to blame. Government departments responsible for the area are not doing their jobs. We have no enforcement in environmental, none in parks, none any place, none in the police also. These departments are supervised by the buddies of the people committing these acts. It is a big corruption island-wide. This is this person's views. I would tend to differ to a certain extent. Yes, some departments have dropped the ball, and we're seeing some of them picking the ball up and running with it. I think Department of Environment now doing more tagging and more pickup of derelict vehicles as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. all the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
North Church Street is closed this morning near Coral Sands as police investigate Cayman's second fatal crash of the year. Around 5:30 this morning, police were called to a report of an unresponsive man, a cyclist who appeared to be the victim of a hit and run. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. The road has been closed as police conduct a full investigation. Organizers of mass protests in Sudan have told the BBC they want the full dismantling of the, quote, deep state left behind by ousted leader Omar al-Bashir. A spokesman said leaders of the past regime should be put on trial. Mr. Bashir was toppled by the army last week after 30 years in power, and a military council has pledged elections in 2 years' time. And the operator of Japan's Fukushima nuclear plant has begun removing nuclear waste from one of the reactors that melted down after the devastating 2011 earthquake and tsunami. Remotely controlled equipment is lifting fuel rods from a storage pool inside reactor number 3. The delicate work at the contaminated site is expected to take 2 years. Those are your headlines. I'm Kartzley Fuller.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have guests in the studios now, so we're going to shift gears, but this is certainly a topic that a lot of you, our listeners and viewers, are interested in as well. It's a topic that you can do your part in assisting, because I'm sure that you're involved in this whole issue one way or the other, whether you're a perpetrator or whether you're one out there who's concerned about our environment and wanting to do something about it. So it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me Ms. Claire Hughes, who's the founder of Plastic Free Cayman. Also with us, Mr. Bill Lamont, who's the educational coordinator at Plastics Free Cayman. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to For the Record. With that introduction, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about yourselves and tell us some more about Plastic Free Cayman and your activities as well, starting with you, Ms. Hughes.
Sure, thank you for having us on. So Plastic Free Cayman is now a non-profit organisation. We've been kind of on the go for almost 2 years, starting at just a grassroots level. And basically our aim is to educate and spread awareness and encourage action towards the problem of single-use plastic. So that's in a nutshell. And we have beach cleans every month taking part. And we also have a pledge. So an individual, so yourself, for example, you can go online and you can take the 345 pledge. And basically it's a kind of promise or a pledge to use less plastic, because plastic's kind of taken over all our lives.
Okay. Mr. Lamont.
Yeah, so Claire and I are both teachers. Claire teaches elementary school and I teach secondary. Okay. So we are very much involved in the lives of our students. But as teachers, we started this NGO or NPO, and part of it is empowering our youth to help us make change and be the voice of the next generation, because they are inheriting some of the mess that we're leaving. So we have a lot of students involved, and they help with the educational boosts at the beach cleans, and they've done outreach at different schools and at different events. So I try to help coordinate that. Whether it's with Taste of Cayman or the beach cleanups, we try our best to get students involved.
Okay. Ms. Hughes, you spoke about single-use plastic. Can you, for the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, elaborate on that somewhat, please?
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, plastic is part of our modern day life. It's an amazing material. We have it on our cars, we have it here in the studio, we have it on our phones. We couldn't do without it as the modern world exists. But it's the single-use plastic that's taken over. We've become accustomed to convenience. So we go to the shop, we're thirsty, we buy a water bottle. Yes. We use it for about 6 minutes, we drink, we throw it away, and it's gone. And one thing I didn't realize as a mother and a teacher was plastic doesn't just decompose like an apple core or banana skin. It stays around for, they think, around 450 years, up to 1,000 years. And one thing I started noticing was the plastic washing up on our beaches here. Yes. And so the single-use plastic is we've become a little bit lazy. I mean, we all like convenience, but there's a limit. And so, the big four tend to be plastic water bottles, plastic bags, plastic cups, and plastic straws. And they are things that we can live without. We lived without them before. An example would be if we did ban single-use plastic bags, the thatch bag could make a comeback. It's part of the heritage here. And it's so easy to carry a reusable water bottle as well. I'm admiring your reusable cup in the studio, so thanks for that. Yeah, but it's these little changes.
Well used, worn and everything.
It is, absolutely. But, whereas some people would just have a coffee cup every day. And sometimes we're not aware of it. And it takes a little bit, of education or pointing out for people to think, oh, yeah, actually, why do I do that? And the solutions that are there.
Now, we're seeing some Caribbean countries banning the use of plastic bags, for instance. We, in the Cayman Islands, have taken sort of a different approach to it. And we have said, okay, if you want to use them, then you're going to pay for them. And we will then use the proceeds that we receive from that to help in the fight. But I'm not sure. I think that's almost a surrender attitude to have. What's your position in terms of plastic bags, for instance, total ban of plastic bags in the Cayman Islands?
When I went to the UK in 2004, Ireland was already charging for plastic bags, and that was almost... Well, it's a long time ago, 15 years ago. So we're a bit behind the ball, I think, on that regard. We were really proud of hundreds of students writing letters to the government last year in May. And then we went to the government building and presented those letters to the Honorable Dwayne Seymour, Minister of Health and Environment. And we were really excited because the students were really involved. It seemed like government was on board. We also presented them with a bag ban proposal and bill. And unfortunately, we are almost a year later, and there's been no action. We were following suit on the Bahamas, for example, who have taken great steps forward. Just in January, Jamaica has banned most single-use products. So as far as plastic-free Cayman is concerned, we're really behind the ball, and we can do a lot more. And so we are urging the government to take more action.
So there's three changes we can make. There's, as individuals, businesses, and government, and all those three have to work together. There's very little just one of them happening, really. So we're sort of doing our part, pushed by 100% volunteers. We've all got full-time jobs, but we just feel so passionate about it. And if individuals can start to make some changes, and then businesses can start to make some changes, and then hopefully the government will catch up. But Jamaica, Bahamas, with Grenada, Bermuda,
yes,
and that's it's
Turks and Caicos just recently.
There's about 15 Caribbean countries. We are way behind, and we've really got to now step up. So the charge was a good idea a while ago, but we're past that now. And we even passed, we put a petition out on change.org to ban single-use plastic bags here a couple of years ago, but we're past that now. It's like if the government was to ban single-use plastic bags, well, we actually know, and we now need to step up. We now need to be looking at other single-use products. The EU just banned about 10 single-use items. So not only did they include plastic bags, things like styrofoam containers, they also went a step further, and they were looking at things like your cotton buds that you use in your ears, changing that plastic little stick to a wooden one. Even balloon sticks, they were plastic. And they said, no more single-use little starers for your cocktails.
Yes, the straws. Things like that. And I've seen some companies there in the Cayman Islands, businesses in the Cayman Islands go to that now.
And have you seen the pasta straws? Some bars are using pasta. There's what there's always a resistance to change, but I think what the most exciting thing about change is that these new ideas then come. You know, there could be new startup businesses. It's so exciting if that ban would just come. So that's, you know, what we're pushing for.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking about change, and I know that we're hoping that one of your student ambassadors will be here as well. But in terms of change, how instrumental will our young people be in terms of that change? You know, the old saying, you can't teach a old dog new tricks may be true to a certain extent. So how are we going to rely on our youngsters to push for change, to make that change, but at the same time, even to try to influence parents, guardians, whomever, and to educate them about the dangers that we face, especially being in the Caribbean, our environment being so dependent on a clean, good environment for our tourism industry. How important is all of that, and what will our young people be able to do to assist?
Yeah, so we see it as all very interconnected. We've gotten our students on board through education, first in the classroom and then on site, so at the beach cleans. And our students have really taken off. I mean, they've appeared on different radio shows, TV, in the newspaper, through Instagram and different social media outlets. So they are kind of one of the huge driving forces for this movement. But we also see it as interconnected with the various movements going on island regarding environmentalism. So whether it's barkers, whether it's the port and the reef, the coral, it's all very much interconnected. So our students have a clear voice. I don't know if you've been to some of the recent town halls, but they're quite vocal about some of these issues, and I think they have even inspired a lot of the adults to get more involved.
Definitely. And I mean, I've noticed if people have come along to the beach cleans, they've been very shocked or surprised, a mixture of both. And until somebody realizes how bad the problem is and makes a connection between the things that they're using, and then seeing them washed up on the beach, and the way plastic, I mean, again, I said before, I didn't really think about it. It doesn't really decompose. It actually just breaks apart and it goes brittle, and the sunlight and the salt cause it to photo degrade. Yes. And you just get all these little pieces. So I've gone to pick up some plastic and it's just crumbled in my hand, and then I'm suddenly left with like 1,000 pieces that are impossible to pick up. And here, you know, seeing how the wildlife are affected, it's tragic, and it's because it's man-made, we can fix it as well. So it's down to us to fix. But they teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, I think as soon as somebody becomes aware of it and they start caring about it, then I believe everybody can make just small changes. You know, I'm not asking people to completely ban every single piece of plastic from their life, but that's where our 345 pledge comes along. So we've got 10 things that an individual can do. We encourage you to do it today if you would. And basically it's asking you, we've got it at 345, so it's linked to the Cayman Islands and our code, but also start with 3 things, maybe do a 4th in 6 months and a 5th in a year, and by then you've done 5 out of the 10. Just had 2 or 3 people, an email came in to show me that they'd taken it today, and it's great. I mean, you know, 10 things to do. So plasticfreecayman.com, 345 pledge.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue with Ms. Claire Hughes and Mr. Bill Lamont from Plastic Free Cayman, talking about Plastic Free Cayman and what you can do and what they are doing as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Pharmacy Group would like to thank the Cayman communities for their continuous support for over the past decade. CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy opened its doors in March 2000. West Bay Pharmacy first opened their doors in March 2004. The Cayman Pharmacy Group was established in July 2007. Throughout the years, our CPG family has provided more than just pharmaceuticals to our loyal friends and customers. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has protected the lives of our medical community by securing the best healthcare advice and pharmaceutical services. To us at CPG, you are more than just a number. So, we are taking the time to say thank you for choosing CPG, the Cayman Pharmacy Group, taking care of your health.
Get you ready. Set your date.
Saturday, April 27th, the annual Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair at the Camana Bay Arts and Recreation Center, 9 a.m. through noon. Witness over 130 next-generation scientists representing over 12 primary schools, including Cayman Brac, deliver fresh ideas, solutions, and innovation covering life sciences, earth science, physics, chemistry, food and health, and more than meets the eye. 3 hours of science-spiration by the next generation. Major sponsors, Dart Minds Inspired and Green Turtle Express. Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair 2019. Ideas, innovation, inspiration.
This Easter weekend, the Cayman Islands will welcome the rest of the Caribbean, and you do not want to miss it. Carifta 2019 takes place at the Truman Bodden Sports Complex from April 20th to 22nd. Watch the region's most talented track and field athletes compete and come cheer on your Cayman athletes. Get ready to raise your flags at the Caribbean's biggest athletic event this Easter weekend. It's Carifta 2019. Tickets start as low as $10.
Get your tickets now at CaymanCarifta2019.ky or Funky Tanks and Reflections. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands Government, CUC, Salt Technology Group, the Cayman Islands Athletic Association, Cayman Islands Olympic Committee, DART, Miracle Brokers, Maples Group, Pinnacle Media, World Gym, and Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me representatives from Plastic Free Cayman in the form of Miss Claire Hughes, who's the founder of Plastic Free Cayman, and also with us Mr. Bill Lamont, who is the educational coordinator at Plastics Free Cayman. We're going to talk about some other things as well, important things. The next beach cleanup, we want to talk about that, and you can tell us about the last one that you had as well, and the public response that you've gotten from that, as well as what do you discover on these beach cleanups? Are we seeing things that are locally generated? Are we seeing things that may be regionally generated as well due to the currents and everything else? Tell our listening audience about that.
Sure. Well, our last cleanup was at Safe Haven, and we did that in March, and we picked up nearly, I think, about 1,800 pounds worth of trash. It was a phenomenal amount, and that was a big mixture of littering. And sadly, people, for some reason, think it's okay to go and park their cars, enjoy the view, have a drink, have KFC, and just leave it. Now, that's a complex issue as well. There's no garbage bins there.
Right.
So people could say, well, they should provide garbage bins. You know, most people know that it's not right to do that, so you could just take it home with you and dispose of it at home. But yes, there's also a lot washing up as well. And again, big complex issue, but the majority of it is coming from other parts of the Caribbean. There are other countries, such as Haiti, Dominican Republic, who don't have a waste management system. We've seen video evidence that it literally just goes into the canals, and the canals lead to the rivers, and the rivers lead to the sea, and we find things, actually with Haiti written on, for example. So, that's an issue that's not going to go away anytime soon. But yeah, we do find some strange items for sure. So everyday household items as well. We still find a lot of plastic bottles. That seems to be the number one item at the moment. But we find toothbrushes, we find baby toys, we find a lot of flip-flops, shoes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and just a quick shout out to the government officials that came to the Safe Haven cleanup. That was really amazing. We've partnered with Youth Parliament, and so they presented a bill on the floor of Parliament regarding the ban of the bags. Yeah. So it was great to see Youth Parliament and our own government officials come out for that cleanup. Additionally, Junior Achievement have been amazing. They've done the whole auto cycle project, creating ottomans out of plastic bottles. So they were also there in representation. So it was a great community event. And so, Claire, what about the next one?
So, again, this stuff's washing up. As it washes up, we collect it, we weigh it to have a running total of what's coming out. That helps globally paint a picture of plastic pollution. And but with some of that plastic as well, we've got some amazing artists on island who are doing amazing things with this trash. And so that brings today, there's actually a Meet the Artists today at Premier Tap Room. So that's the CMB roundabout, and I believe from 4:30 through into the evening, you can go and look at the absolutely phenomenal display. There's things made out of plastic. There's a big marlin made out of, from afar it just looks like a beautiful marlin, and as you get closer you can see plastic bottles like a flip-flop, a plastic toothbrush, all sorts of just plastic fragments, and it's stunning. That was made by Mark Lawrenson from Stoat. Okay. So that is just, it's amazing. And it's called upcycling, when something's like taken and then we make it better as well. So, we encourage everyone to go along. You have a chat to the artists. There's Kerwin Ebanks, Carlo Lee.
Jessica Middleman.
Jessica June Southall. And outside, people may have seen driving by as well, there's a huge, big Jimi Hendrix bottle cap mural. I mean, from afar, it just looks like a Jimi Hendrix picture. But as you get closer, it's actually made of about 12,000 bottle caps. Wow. And that's one thing you're asking about, the things we find. We find a lot of bottle caps. Probably one of the most items with bottles is the bottle caps. But worryingly, we find the bottle caps, but you don't tend to find bottles that don't have caps on. So whether they have sunk on their journey.
And for that mural specifically, a lot of the bottle caps came from Grand Cayman, but also from the BRAC and from Little Cayman through our cleanups in the past few months. Okay. And then also each school undertook a bottle cap drive, and we had a huge bottle cap event earlier in the month of March, which was great to see what happens when you have close to 500,000 bottle caps collected on this island. And then again, the question is, where are the bottles? So this plastic is not going away. We need to come up with some good solutions.
So, I mean, art is a fantastic solution to it. It's something to do with it. It's amazing what they're producing. But also we've got to really, the DH are doing a great job as well of pushing the, reduce, reuse, recycle. One thing I'd like to add there was the refuse. Try refuse it first. Just saying, no plastic bag. You go for just a few groceries, just carry them. Or take a reusable bag with you, or ask for a cardboard box. I'm sure my age now, but that's what used to happen when I was a child. We didn't have plastic bags growing up,
or we had brown paper bags.
Brown paper bags, exactly. Or even like a mesh bag, or going back to thatch again. I mean, a thatch bag can last you a lifetime.
Now, what do we say in this festive season? A lot of people out there camping now, and you do a lot of beach cleanup. Yes, some of it may come from beach users. Some of it may come from things being thrown in the water, either from ships or whatever. What advice do you have for those beach users during the holiday season, those people who will be out there camping, whether or not it be for an extended period or just for a day?
I mean, it's very tempting. I kind of understand. Well, I don't really understand, but people don't want food containers in the tents or near them, so they cast them to the side. I mean, really, they should be collecting them up in a garbage bag and tying it up and then taking it with them, or finding a garbage bin, a receptacle to put them in. I mean, if you're going camping, it's awesome thing to go do, but please, because one thing, the garbage does not go away. I think people sometimes cast it aside and either think, it's someone else's problem, or, it'll just go away eventually. Well, there is no away. Even when we throw our our garbage in our bin at home. It still goes somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't just magically disappear. And I think sometimes people just think, poof, it just disappears. So please just be mindful, be responsible, set a good example to the children. At the end of the day, nobody likes to see trash anywhere, on the beach, on the side of the road, in the road. It's unsightly. It's a health hazard. So please, just be responsible.
Okay. One of our listeners has written in and said, "Good morning. Happy to hear your panel this morning. A very important topic indeed. I would like to say that this Easter is a good time to get people involved in recycling. Disposable items are so easy to use, but what they do to our environment. We implemented a recycle program at our camp over the last 5 years. We use plates, glasses, and forks that are washed after each use. The kids have had so much fun marking their names on these and washing them after use. This reduces our garbage tremendously. They also collect the garbage that washes up. If each camp implemented a program, we could all help." Very good.
High five that person.
Yes, that's great.
Yes.
And it's
Very
teaching
great.
personal responsibility as well. As everybody's camping and connecting to nature, you have to remember, we have to respect nature as well. And so that's an amazing example of what people can do.
And that's like turning back the clock. I mean, that's what we used to do. So, for example, at school, we've just gone for all reusables, and this was a push from the children at my school, and like churches, and we've just become accustomed to, it's just convenient to go buy the styrofoam plates or the disposable plastic cutlery. But we used to have that fellowship and wash up afterwards together, and you have your reusable mugs. And I think that it needs to come back, but it often just takes one person, so like this person advocating at their camp to do that. And it's such a simple switch, and it has such a huge impact. So thank you. That's great advice.
I want to thank them too, and I want to say to them, if I'm in the area cycling on the weekend, I will stop in like I did last year, and they were grateful enough to give us, me and my fellow cyclists, share some watermelon with us also.
Oh, that is great.
And there you go. And so that's another thing as well. It's buying, you might buy a whole watermelon and chop it up instead of buying it in, just a few pieces in styrofoam and cling film and saran wrap. So it's just making these small changes.
Okay. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I wanted to talk about Earth Day as well, the implications of that, the impact of it, and should it always be just an Earth Day, or should every day be Earth Day? Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore.
Money Sense, bringing an informed financial perspective to the Cayman community. Brought to you by the CFA Society Cayman Islands and sponsored by One Trade X. Tune into Money Sense this Thursday, 7:30 a.m. as we interview the victorious team from UCCI that recently won the Pan-Caribbean Research Challenge with the CFA Institute. Listen to them discuss the competition, the company they researched, and their plans for their upcoming appearance in the finals in New York City. Money Sense this Thursday at 7:30 a.m. exclusively on Radio Cayman. Follow us or message us on Twitter at Money Sense Radio. Money Sense, the only personal finance radio show in the Cayman Islands. Brought to you with the support of One Trade X.
Get you ready. Set your date.
Saturday, April 27th, the annual Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair at the Camana Bay Arts and Recreation Center, 9 a.m. through noon. Witness over 130 next-generation scientists representing over 12 primary schools, including Cayman Brac, deliver fresh ideas, solutions, and innovation covering life sciences, earth science, physics, chemistry, food and health, and more than meets the eye. 3 hours of science-spiration, by the next generation. Major sponsors, Dart Mines Inspired and Green Turtle Express. Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair 2019. Ideas, innovation, inspiration.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio K-Man for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of K-Man's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news.
Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio K-Man News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio K-Man.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have in the studio with us Mr. Bill Lamont, who's the educational coordinator at Plastics Free Cayman, and Ms. Claire Hughes, the founder of Plastic Free Cayman. I want to thank all of you who have sent in WhatsApp messages. We want to encourage you also, if you have anything to say, call in. Our phone lines are open, that we will take calls and questions in relation to anything. If you're curious in terms of what you can do to ensure that we have a plastics-free Cayman, please do so as well. Until then, I'm going to throw the mic back over to Mr. Lamont and Ms. Hughes for them to stay on agenda.
Absolutely. So we'd like to say a huge big thank you to Chamber, who every single year they put on an amazing Earth Day cleanup. Mm-hmm. I believe it was most people than they've had before. People, as you've been driving by this morning, I'm sure you've certainly seen the bags on the side of the road. It's an amazing island-wide effort, yes. And there was cleanup in Little Cayman as well over the weekend. We've actually done cleanups over there as well, and there's very much regular small group of people that are making a huge impact. And of course, the sister islands are impacted greatly by plastic pollution. It's a complex issue again of it's a small population, but there's a big amount of plastic. So just thank you for the kind-hearted people over there that go out and just clean up. We know of one gentleman lives near Point of Sands, and he every single day goes and picks up. And it's plastic pollution is not going to go away anytime soon, but there are amazing global efforts going on. There's corporations like Greenpeace who are tackling the big producers of plastic. So Nestle, for example, they produce a lot of single-use sachets and plastic items. So they're targeting these people. It's all very well cleaning up, but we also need to try and stop it at its source as well.
Yeah. Okay. Another huge shout out to Chamber, because it was 125 teams and 2,000 volunteers. And when you combine that with the number of volunteers we've had this year, we're looking at over 4,000, close to 5,000 people getting out there and helping with this cause.
Okay, and I don't know if you have any statistics in relation to this or any feedback, but of those number of people who are coming out to assist with the cleanup, how many of them in their daily activities are now involved and conscious of what the dangers of plastics, single-use plastics can do, and actually, because if you have 5,000 people on board who are practicing, what they preach,
absolutely,
then that's a huge impact in itself.
It's making a big difference. I read somewhere we don't need people doing. It's called zero waste. Some people go to the extreme of collecting the garbage in a jam jar every year. I mean, personally, I'm nowhere near that, but I certainly have cut down. But they say basically we don't need people doing plastic free perfectly. We just need many, many, many people doing it imperfectly. So it's just reducing a couple of things, and that can make a huge difference. Definitely.
Okay. And we have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller. No callers. Oh, okay. I thought. Okay. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. I'll just do a public service announcement very quickly. Apparently, there's a delay now on Esther Tibbetts highway as well. It seems as if another cyclist is down there. I don't know whether or not they've been hit or whether or not they may have fallen from their bike or what, but it seems as if there's another road incident on the Esther Tibbetts highway, northbound traffic before the Cayman Bay roundabout. And it appears And it appears also as if the driver of the other fatal accident this morning may have been located as well. We're hearing some rumors about that. When it is official, actually we've received something from Royal Cayman Islands Police Service in that regard as well. Good time to take a break now, Miss Susan, or no? We just came back from a break. What am I talking about? I'm getting lazy now. So very quickly, we're talking about cars, and if I can just read this one very quickly as well. This writer has said that for 2 years, a car has been parked on the sidewalk on Industrial Way. In addition, at the intersection with Dorsey Drive, 5 cars have been there for about 6 months. So again, this is for DEH's attention. You may want to check those locations. This, in a way, is about recycled Cayman as well. You know, even though we're talking more about plastics, but the cars are a bigger issue as well. But
yeah,
back
absolutely.
To you,
so I mean, again, one thing that I've learned, and I had no idea. I just didn't really think about it, and it's really important as a teacher. I think that we get this into schools. We just educate a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So materials such as plastic, when plastic's recycled, it's downcycled. It goes down to something else. It can't be made back into a plastic bottle. So I didn't know that, whereas glass can be. Glass can be just recycled forever back into glass. Yes. Aluminum cans can be recycled, melted down back into aluminum. So they are really precious materials. So recycling is really, really important. And sadly, again, we are lacking in that. We are behind the times a little bit. It would be great. And I know Chamber, I've been working with Chamber on this, and that is to try and have recycle bins out at public places. So right now it's just a trash can. Everything just goes in the same can. But to have separate recycling out in public places and have that at schools is vital.
Now, in terms of recycling, are we likely to reach a point where what we generate here, that we're not likely to find some jurisdiction that is prepared to take it from us? And if we do end up in that situation, what in the world do we do?
That's happening. China have closed their doors. Yes. India have closed their doors to other people's trash. And so, America's facing a big problem. Of course, that's where our recycling is getting sent off to. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if America say, no, Cayman, keep your own trash. Oh, boy. So, again, refusing. All bans. If we were to ban single-use plastic, let's follow Jamaica's example. Let's ban styrofoam. Let's ban plastic straws. Let's ban plastic cutlery. Yes. And if we just don't bring those items on island, then we don't have to dispose of them. Whereas the more compostable items will compost down. And bamboo is I believe Taste of Cayman.
So both. Another shout out to Kaboo and to Taste of Cayman, who have really tried to be more sustainable in their efforts. Many of Plastic Free Cayman team and a lot of the students that are involved with our cause helped with the Taste of Cayman Green team and Steph McDermott's efforts to really get recycling in action at Taste of Cayman, and also to reduce a lot of the plastic pollution there. It wasn't a perfect event. I mean, it wasn't fully plastic free, but those are the steps that we each can take within our own lives, but also within these big events and festivals that Cayman loves to put on.
Now, I'm sure that there's enough blame that can be shared around, but at the end of the day, someone has to take the lead. Someone has to take the bull by the horn. And the entity that has the bullet pulpit, or that has the carrot that they can extend, or that has the whip that they can use if they want to, is government. Now, you may be a little bit reluctant to be critical of the government, but at the same time, is our government doing enough in this regard? Is the private sector doing enough in this regard. The merchants who, at the end of the day, many of them are looking at their bottom line. So whatever makes them profitable or more profitable is what they're going to go towards. Yes, we talk about our young people and their ability to make change, but we could destroy ourselves before it reaches a point where they actually have the reins of power and can do something about it. How do we approach this? How do we get people's ears? I know you're doing your part. Here you are on For the Record talking about it. You're doing your cleanup drives and everything else, but we need more.
Yeah,
to be done.
Government. They do a lot. I mean, the Department of Environment, they've got housing, they have many things under one umbrella, and but ultimately, you're right. They have the power. The policies need to change, and there's a few options. You can go straight for bans. You can phase it out. I believe Jamaica did go quite quickly into their ban.
Yes.
I think you definitely need a phasing out period to allow people to get used to it. But we've also kind of done that job for them a little bit. We've been talking about it. We've introduced the pledge. We've talked to businesses. It's already happening, and people are very receptive to that change. So if government were to ban it, let's say, Bahamas are starting January 1st. So what are we? We're in April. So there's plenty of time. So even if in the next month government would say, or they would say January 1st, we're going to be phasing out certain items to start with. We will certainly have been doing and will help them with a publicity campaign with it. We can help them with all the different policies and things. But yeah, it's ultimately down to them. They can either tax the plastics coming in to make the compostable materials more affordable. So yeah, you go to buy jerk chicken, for example, or you go to buy something at the roadside. Those vendors are not going to want to buy the expensive compostable containers. We understand that. So yeah, if you can implement a tax, or a ban, or make things cheaper, there's several options.
Yeah, that's give some import duty breaks for those people who are bringing in environmentally friendly items as opposed to those who aren't.
Thailand have just started using banana leaves to package some food. So instead of using plastic at the supermarket, it's just been all over social media, and that's amazing. Like, if you think about it, they've just gone again, turning back the clock a little bit before plastic took over our lives, and there's some great innovative ideas coming out.
And there's so many businesses that have gotten on board, whether it's the Creperie and Lucky Slice, or Vivo, or even what's the...
So we've got all sorts. We've Salties have said straws on request.
Walk and roll.
Walk and roll. Yeah. We've got Greenhouse. You've already mentioned Vivo. GNC are not giving out plastic bags. So we have a business pledge as well. So if you're a business owner out there, again, check out plasticfreecayman.com, 345 pledge. We give suggestions of what you can do, and you just have to do 3 of them. And probably you're already doing that. But if you can just then implement one more in your business, because when your customer comes in, if you don't automatically offer that bag, or if they ask, okay, on request, but don't automatically give a bag out. I was in Kirk's home the other day, and the lady just gave me a bag, and I talked to her and said, if you didn't offer the bag, just I know it's part of customer service, but I'm like, no bag, and I think she still ended up putting my stuff in. So I politely said, I've got my own reusable bag. So yeah, individuals, businesses, and government need to do something.
Yeah. But the slight elephant in the room is that DART is one of the largest producers of single-use plastic. So because they have such an influence on this island, it does make it especially tricky for certain policies, I think, to be enacted. Whether it's fear, I don't know, but I think it's a complex issue, and we're trying to tackle it as best that we can through schools and education, through our conversations with businesses, and through the pledge, through our cleanups. We're working our butts off on this. It would be great to see government and DART also working on this issue in the same respect.
Yeah,
but even
bigger players on the island.
Yeah, but to counteract that as well, we're such a small population. I mean, if we were to ban styrofoam here, DART's not going to go out of business. Like, they provide to Asia, and that's huge. And so, we could ban styrofoam the UK could ban styrofoam, other Caribbean countries could ban styrofoam. That's not going to make a difference. And if they're smart, and I believe they are, they're going to be...
No, it's going to make a difference, but the impacts could be greater if other places did the same.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's kind of Dart's pocket. They're not going to, they're not going to have a problem. But we'd like corporations like Dart and like we were just talking Nestle earlier. They've got a corporate responsibility.
Yes.
They really have. They make billions, and they either need to implement that for cleanup or they need to implement change within their business, knowing now what plastic does. And styrofoam's horrendous to clean up. It's one of the worst things. It goes soggy. It breaks up into pieces. You should see the brack at the moment. One of our students actually just sent some pictures yesterday, and she was just heartbroken. It's like snow all over the bluff.
Wow.
It is a line of it, and it's going to take an army to clean it up. And the fish eat it. And again, we're an island. We eat fish.
Yeah, we consume it. Yeah.
You're eating plastic, basically. So there's a great cartoon at the moment. It's like, someone goes and gets fish and chips, and they say, can I have a plastic bag? And they said, no, it's in the fish. So it's funny, but not funny.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Let's take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. We have about 15 minutes left in our conversation about plastic-free Cayman. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
These are our kids, and just like your kids, it seems that what we tell them goes through one ear and come out the other. But guess what? When it comes to making tough decisions like whether or not to drink, note that kids say that parents have the biggest influence more than anyone. So talk to your kids. Let's work together to stop underage drinking before it starts. This message is brought to you by Radio Cayman and the National Drug Council.
Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up.
Praises unto God, sing praises. Come on, sing praises unto God, sing praises. Hallelujah. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day.
Praise time on Radio Cayman. Praise time.
Jesus in the morning. I will. So send me, Lord, I will go. Born again. Thank God I'm born again.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Mr. Bill Lamont, who's the educational coordinator for Plastics Free Cayman, and Ms. Claire Hughes, who's the founder of Plastic Free Cayman. I'm going to read for you an article on Cayman Parent and a question that was posed to Ms. Claire Hughes, the founder. And it says, why did you start the Plastics Free Cayman initiative? And her answer was, after watching a plastic ocean on Netflix, I wanted to do something to help. I never knew that plastic leaches chemicals into the food and water, and that so little is recycled. I had also begun to notice more plastic washing up on our beaches over the years and appearing on the roadside as well. As a teacher and parent, I wanted to share what I had learned. Kudos to you, commendable, as well. So we're going to talk about the next beach cleanup and some other items as well. So I'm going to throw the mic back to you. You have it for another 8-10 minutes.
Thank you. So we hold cleanups monthly, and so our next month cleanup is out at East End, and we're going to do Gun Bay, which we did last March, I believe. But with the currents and with plastic, a lot of plastic in the Caribbean Sea, it's all washed up again. So, and there's the sargassum out there as well is pretty bad, and that's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it kind of is like a sponge for the plastic, and it brings it in. But obviously there's a chance of it washing back out again. So we're going to do Gun Bay. So that's on Sunday, the 5th of May, from 8 o'clock and in the morning. And we hope to see lots of people out there helping. We know we've just had the big chamber clean-up, but this is an ongoing issue, and it's even if you can just go pick up a few pieces of trash. And so another challenge we have going actually for this month, we didn't do an organised cleanup this month of April. We'll let Chamber organise this month's, but we decided anyone that couldn't get out to the Chamber cleanup can just go again do their own. It's about individual change and individuals helping as well. So we've come up with, some of your listeners may have heard of the trash tag. So if you're on social media, Trash Tag was started in Guatemala, and it's gone viral now. So it's people basically taking a picture of an area with lots of trash, picking up the trash, and then taking an after picture with themselves and what they've collected. And then they put it on social media and they write Trash Tag. And it's got like thousands and thousands of views and tags now.
Great.
So people all over the world are making a difference and doing that. So we came up with Trash Tag Cayman. So if anyone out there would like to have a go, basically take a picture of the trash, pick it up, wear gloves or use a grabber, put it in a bag, and take an after picture as well, hopefully with yourself in. And then if you just tag us on social media, Trash Tag Cayman, Plastic Free Cayman, and we've also got some prizes for this month to give out to individuals that can do that. There's more information on our Facebook page and on our website.
Now, Mr. Lamont, I read. I'm thinking about a bicycle now. I read, Miss Hughes' reasons for being involved in Plastic Free Cayman, and I want you to tell our listening and viewing audience, as an educational coordinator, your role and how did you get involved, and what do you do in your role as educational coordinator?
Yeah, so I've been a teacher for almost 20 years, and it started in East Africa, where I got involved with a lot of environmental issues, and then moved to New York City, where I worked with the Hudson River Project and various environmental issues there. And when I got to Cayman, I was taken aback by the beauty of the island. And it didn't take long to kind of dig into the surface a little bit and see that there are a lot of issues facing this island. And there's a lot that we can learn from other environments and the destruction that has occurred in those places, whether they are islands or countries or cities. So as an educator, I've just been using the platform at teaching chemistry, biology, environmental science to get kids more involved, to motivate them to have a voice and to take that voice into their communities and to follow their passions to make a difference. So although I've been spearheading plastic-free initiatives, we've also been working on a variety of environmental issues that are important to this island specifically and linked to global issues, whether it's coral reef preservation or saving seagrass and barkers. So,
okay, final points that you want to raise for audience.
So online at plasticfreecayman.com, we have an individual pledge and a business pledge. So if you're a business owner or even wherever you work, at your workplace, you can start initiating a little bit of change there. So maybe you notice that there's plastic cutlery every day. We talked about the advice the guy that's going camping had about just washing up. We go back to stainless cutlery and reusable plates. So taking the 345 pledge would be a great place to start, and just cutting down on your own single-use plastic. come join us for the beach clean next month, May the 5th at Gun Bay.
Gun Bay.
Yeah, that would be great to have you come out. And if you
Do
can't
they need to bring anything with them when they come other than
a reusable water bottle? Yeah, we don't give out
Yes.
plastic water bottles, obviously. A hat, sun cream, gloves, reusable gloves if they have them. If not, we can supply them.
And the time?
8 o'clock in the morning. So, or if you come a bit later, that's fine as well. If you show up at 9, it's a drive out to East End. And if you miss that one, we have one next month. And also, if you miss it, we've got a Trash Tag Cayman challenge going on right now with details on the Facebook page. So.
Okay. And to the residents of East End, in particular Gun Bay, anything you want to say to them in terms of their participation in the event at Gun Bay?
Yeah, last time we had cadets come out, and that was fantastic. We had all the cadets show up, and they made such a difference. It was phenomenal. But just, we can face this issue together. It brings the community out, and it really makes a difference. And Cayman is so stunningly beautiful that it is worth protecting. It's worth making changes at government level, hopefully quickly, because the issue is a pressing one. But yeah, everyone can do their parts, no matter how old you are.
Yeah, and although we talk about Earth Day, again, we should be doing our best to protect our environment every day through our small actions.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely. Okay, I want to thank you both and wish you the best in your endeavors, and I will certainly continue to do my little part, even when I'm cycling in the mornings, and if I eat an energy bar or something like that, I ensure that I take the wrapper and I stick it in my back pocket in my cycling jersey and take it home and then put it in the garbage as opposed to dumping it, on the street as well. Now, it would be nice if the wrapper was edible as well, then I wouldn't have to dispose of anything, right?
There you go.
But again, thanks very much. Thanks for your involvement. And I think it is so extremely important that we have our young people involved in it, because that is where we're going to see an impact in the future generations. And we have to ensure that we leave something for them, that it isn't all destroyed. And then they have to try to redo everything, which is practically impossible, because some of these things are irreversible, at the end of the day, as well. So thank you all very much. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I also want to remind you that we are brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Bikes at 12:15 for Talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. And Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Sing along with us.
This is The Breeze, the music of your life.
Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Are you ready? Here we go. I feel like running. will, I will, I will, I will, I will. So send me, Lord, I will go. Born again. Thank God I'm born again.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.